Hello and welcome to a new episode of our podcast. Today I'm your host, I'm Antonia, and with me I have two wonderful guests, which are Seb and Yutong. Hello.
Hi,
Hello.
this is Seb.
Hi, this is Yutong.
Hi. As always, we just start with a quick fire this and that session. We'll just jump right into it with acting or directing.
Oh, that's hard. I like acting. I like being on stage, but yeah, I do enjoy directing. I really do enjoy it.
And you also did a lot of directing, like you directed last semester and then Corona hit you.
Yeah. So I've been doing some little guest directing on some of the scenes on this, and that's been good. It's a lot less pressure. Here's what I like. I like telling people what to do. I don't like having to do all the production organization.
And what about you?
For me, acting and directing are both good, but probably acting is a little bit more favorable for me. But really, I can't just get off neither of them.
What I kind of forgot now is to let you tell the audience what your roles are in the audio plays of the semester. So maybe we can just do this now.
So I'll start first. I'm playing Stuart in the episode Rendezvous with Death. It's a very tiny character with, I think, only 5 lines probably.
Yeah, and I'm playing Simon. He is part of a love triangle, and that's also in Rendezvous as well.
Then we go on with theater or movie.
So I start first. For me, of course, theater, because I love the sense of being in a live scene, and I love the space theater provide. So for me, definitely.
Yeah, I definitely like aspects of the live shows. Movies have magic to them, I guess. So they can do things with special effects that you just can't replicate on stage. But I've seen some live shows where they have some effect. It definitely isn't as big. You can do more with movie magic, but definitely I've been feeling there and sometimes being.
I think there's also a different, if you say watching theater or movie or kind of doing theater or movie. So for me, there's a different that for watching, I would rather say movie. For acting, I'd say theater, because that's, I don't know, they just have to do more and this is just more exciting.
Yeah, and each show's different. I think this came up in other podcasts. You know, it depends on how the mood and everything else. And yeah, I like that. I like the having to get it right, the nervous energy. I've done a couple of short films. It's so hard just doing the scene again and again, and it's tough.
Yeah, and in theater you just have one shot and it works,
and it doesn't. Yeah, exactly.
And you got to just face directly on to the reactions of the audiences, and that's very exciting.
Yeah, true.
For sure, 100%.
Then we go on with invisible or unbreakable.
The classical question we've heard in the first episode.
I would go unbreakable. I am older than you guys, and I broke my arm riding bike last year, and I just realized I'm of this break. The broken top of your elbow area, it was something like males between 30 and 40, the most likely candidates. And I was like, oh yeah, my body is just, if I sleep wrong, then my whole day is definitely unbreakable.
Yeah, I would also go for unbreakable, because for me, invisible, point of being invisible is reducing the risk of, I don't know, whatever. But if you have the characteristics of being unbreakable, then even if a risk or a danger comes, you can also just face it safely.
Yeah,
and do whatever you want.
You don't need to sneak around. You just take it on the chin.
Yeah, exactly.
And the next question is the question that I also really like, and is, what is your spirit animal?
What is my spirit? Seb, do you want to go first?
Yeah. It's interesting because I didn't know you. And I don't want to say dolphin because Leah said dolphin, and dolphins are a little bit rapey. So I don't want to say dolphins, but I do like swimming. Something about being in Germany. I miss the ocean. So I don't know, maybe octopus sounds, I don't know, maybe octopus, maybe.
Okay.
Well, for me, spirit animal is, I think it is not something or some animals that I want to be, but some animals I probably am. And for me, according to this definition, the spirit animal of me is probably a cat, because I think because I also have two pets in my house, and I think we have some same characteristics. The first one is we are very lazy. And want to sleep all day. And the second characteristic is that we probably will express in a way that in the deep of our heart that we don't want to. For example, there is one certain cat of me. I think he dislikes me, but every time he will just like numbles, and I think he is saying something bad about me, but in the same time, he just climbs up on my knees and just sleep on my knees. And if I move my hand out of him, and he will continue saying something bad. So she's I don't know, I'm very confusing if he really likes me or dislikes me, but I think we sometimes I also share these characteristics with him.
I mean, you give him food, yeah.
And
food and sleep.
Yeah, and a place to stay.
That was a pretty cool and long explanation of your spirit animal, but that's fine. Then next is breakfast or dinner.
Dinner. Oh, hang on. Wait, I don't know. Australia gets up earlier than Europe. Europe loves their sort of later. If I could only eat one of them for the rest of my life, so I don't eat breakfast often now, but if I went back to Australia, it would be breakfast. They have a different breakfast. So breakfast in Australia, but dinner in Germany.
So breakfast in Australia is earlier?
Yeah, I think that people just wake up earlier. They're just used to being up and about and moving around, and so people will go out for breakfast. Here, it's not a thing, yeah? Like I would go with my roommate. So this is an interesting story, and maybe it's not appropriate anymore, but we had a bar near us, and so where I was working in Australia was a heavy mining area, and so people would do shift work and they would come out off shift early in the morning, and so for them they would go to breakfast at the local bar. They had, because of the timing difference, they had tits on toast, and so tits on toast was you had topless bartenders serving you breakfast. So I would go there with my housemate, and you could drink beer at 6 o'clock in the morning and get served by topless or bacon eggs. It was a weird experience.
Okay, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, weird. It was a weird thing.
Yeah. So at what time do you usually have breakfast?
I mean, like it would be similar time to here. It's just more the culture of going out and having breakfast. And, I guess, especially during summer, like they have longer days, it's bright. So, I mean, I don't think you're going out at 6 o'clock, but you're up at 6 and therefore you're out before then. And so we don't really have late dinners.
Well, I would go for dinner. It's simply because I can't get up no matter where I am, no matter I am in China or in Germany, I can't get up.
Okay, so you usually just skip breakfast?
Yeah, I usually skip breakfast. If there is one day I can have a breakfast because I get up before 10 a.m. and I would be very happy because I would think that it's a very healthy day and I have a very healthy beginning. But I rarely had chance.
So then to close this or that section, one more question, and that is coffee or tea?
I would go for coffee. But if there is the third option, which is a bubble tea, I would definitely choose bubble.
It's very Asian.
Yeah.
Is it available here? This sounds so ridiculous. There must be bubble teas around. Is there bubble teas in Mannheim?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Yeah, it's just not my thing. But I would say coffee. I'm not a big tea drinker. Something that is interesting though, and I picked this up from some of the Chinese guys that I used to work with, is just drinking hot water.
Because we have everything hot. Like we drink in water hot, we have our food hot supplied, and there is also a very funny, and I think it's a habit of the Chinese, is we think that hot water could sometimes be cure for some unhealthy conditions. For example, when I'm feeling my stomach is okay, then I would probably having a cup of hot water, and that's really, well, I would feel much more comfortable with a cup of hot water. But I'm not sure.
Without any flavor. So why, if you drink hot water, then you can just also drink tea, which has a flavor.
Yeah, but sometimes you don't feel like a tea. It's definitely something that I picked up with the work guys, especially coffee. You don't want to drink cup of coffee.
Yeah.
And so you just drink hot water. Yeah, it was interesting. It's definitely something that I picked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. All right, we move on to you, so you as the actress, and your background. And the first question is where you're from and how long you're in Mannheim, which actually doesn't work for you, Tom, because you're not in Mannheim at the moment. But whatever.
Yeah.
So do you just want to start, Yutong?
Yeah, so probably audience already know, according to the conversation I already have before, I come from China and I am a full-time international student at the University of Mannheim, and I am currently in my 4th semester of Bachelor Business Administration. So I actually came to Mannheim I think it's about 2 years ago, but I just went back to China about half a year because of the corona stuff, and I don't want to living a lockdown life, so I just simply went back to China. And I've been with ATG, I think, about a year and a half. So that's a short introduction of my background.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm from Australia and I've been in Mannheim now for 3.5 years, maybe 4 years. So yeah, my girlfriend got a job in Heidelberg, and so I don't study anymore. And yeah, the theatre group is an English theatre group, and I speak English good.
Oh, surprise!
Yeah, so yeah, so I looked for a theatre group. I found doing theatre in German quite hard and stressful, but it would have been good practice, so I really should do it. I don't know if there's an older non-university English group, but this is the group, and everyone's nice.
And have you had any theatre experience before ATG?
Yeah, I would like to hear Seb's answer first in this topic. I guess it would be really interesting.
Okay, now you've built it up. Well, okay, so I had this realization the other day that I have been doing theatre than I think some of you guys have been alive, which is so upsetting. I was doing my HSC, yeah. So the last year of school, I was doing theatre as part of my studies in school, and that was in 2000. So before that, I was doing other sort of drama groups, theatre groups, and improv. And so over the years, I've come in and out, I guess. I quite liked doing a lot of improv groups because they don't require as much, I guess, planning and practicing your lines and organization. You kind of just do it. So coming here, when I was working full time, that was a bit of a problem. So when I came to Germany, it gave me the opportunity to really get back into doing theatre. Yeah, over time, I guess I've done lots of different things, playing on stage, directing. I guess the tech side is something new for me. So yes, long time.
I also had some theoretical experience before I went to university. I think I started to do theater stuff at the age of 12, I think, or 13. I originally started to do the theater stuff with my classmates in junior and high schools. And then we kind of have initiative of like a student theater group, something like this. And we deliver, I would only say that those are theater clips, which production less than 20 minutes per year. We did that like once or twice per year inside the schools. So here I would like to talk about the very special cultural tradition of Chinese schools and even universities. We kind of have this culture of performance exhibition. So basically it's giving you a night, and it's like a talent show. But
like gala shows?
No, so, it's like a talent shows.
Oh, okay. So, like China's next top star or something?
Yeah, it's like
China's
got
talent.
Yeah, like mini, or like our school name is CDEFS. So it's like mini CDEFS Got Talent, and you got one night to perform in front the audience, but you don't have judges. It's just a one night for students and teachers to relax and show your talents and so on. So
the different groups each show like 20 minutes of theater or of whatever.
No, not only theater groups can perform. There are singing groups and other stuff and other.
And we actually don't perform with the unit group, but with the unit class, because we in China, everybody have the same. We have lessons by the unit of class, which is to say we don't go to other classrooms for having lessons. So we are staying with each other all the time.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we are quite like a tight collective. So we show our performance 5 units of class, and I'm always performing with my class. So we deliver our performance less than 20 minutes, usually 10 minutes, every year, once or twice, in this kind of School's Got Talent show. And this is basically what I do in the theoretical area in China. And then I just graduate and directly go to Germany for my university. And then I joined the theater group for now. And in the past, I have tried so many places in a theoretical production. I tried to write the script. I tried directing and try organizing and tried a little bit lighting and also tried to acting. And in the end, I think acting and directing the most. And then I came to my university life and joined ATG. That's the end of the story. To be continued.
To be continued.
Yeah, to be continued.
Okay, so we already kind of talked about this, like as a side note, but what are you studying? And maybe for Seb, as you're not studying anymore, what did you study?
Yeah, originally, so I went to university straight out of school and it didn't quite work out. I guess I didn't really know what I wanted to do. But at that point, I was actually doing a minor in theatre with a Bachelor of Arts. And so then I kind of left that and I came back and went to and did business. So I have a business degree, particularly in accounting and finance. And then I did my master's in business administration. And so I have international business and finance, my majors.
And now you're teaching English, right?
And now I'm teaching English. Yeah, well, I try and focus, a lot of my clients, I focus on business. So that's, I guess, my specialty. I try not to do it, sounds terrible, but I've taught kids and sort of lower levels, and I find more the consulting side of it and helping people do presentations and talking about the management reports they need to do and how you would express it is more interesting. It's more in my wheelhouse.
So I'm currently studying business administration, bachelor degree at the University of Mannheim. But an interesting fact is I actually have studied 1 year of, I don't find a very specific major name to this major, but in German that is Wirtschaftswissenschaften. So it's basically like a mixture of economics and business. I've studied 1 year of that major at the University of Constance.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I found out I'm actually more favorable of the business side. So I chose to transfer my major to the peer business administration and went to the University of Mannheim.
Yeah, economics. It's true. It really is. And it's all just gambling and hate it. Anyway, whatever. But I mean, business is quite easy, right? Sell something for more than you buy it. The end. Like, that's business.
Yeah, that's true. So as you both were in the ATG for quite a while, you probably both have some stories about the ATG. I want to know what's your weirdest or funniest or best, whatever ATG rehearsal moment or story.
My most awkward and funniest rehearsal moment is, of course, the steward moment.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, you can explain that. This is also why we laughed at the start, so it was kind of good that you can explain it then. So yeah, tell us about the steward point, because Antonia, do you know this?
No, I don't think I know the story.
Okay.
So this is too funny. We were at the rehearsal for a scene which includes my character, and on the script, my character, the name of my character is Stuart. So I think I'm kind of bad and tell the whole story. Would you like to tell the story, Seb?
No, okay. So yeah, so I think basically Stuart is the name.
Yeah.
But it's the role or the job that the character has.
Yeah.
The name isn't Stuart, it's Steward, as in assistant.
Yeah.
And so there's a line in there where someone calls for the steward. Where's the steward? And Yutong said, "Oh, why is it the steward? Why is it not just Stuart?" And I was like, "Yeah, because she's calling for an assistant, an attendant, and yeah, that's why."
Yeah, And then also asking, there is a line it's saying, and it's like it's very late night. The stewards have gone to bed, and it's like, why there is an S? Like my name doesn't include an S.
Yeah.
And then there is a grammar mistake.
There's
and then
one. There's
everybody
one of me. There's one of me, and yeah. So yeah. So your unofficial name is now Stuart the Steward.
Okay, very cool.
I think the funniest one that really sticks out for me is, and maybe you guys can play along, and anyone that's listening can do the same thing. So we were doing a improv warm up, and you had to do like miming an action, and so other people, the audience had to. So I want you to think about this, and maybe you can do it. So close your eyes and brush your teeth, right? So you're brushing your teeth. Now start getting to those back teeth. Yeah. Yeah. And so you're moving your hand in this motion back and forward with your mouth wide open. And then, so Natasha was doing this, and I'm like, what is she? And then she's like, and then right at the end, like she like spits it, spits it out, and then wipes her chin. And I'm like, oh my God, like it, yeah. And so I was sitting in the audience with Feely, and we're watching Natasha do this motion where it looks like she's giving, a BJ. And then she like kind of gargles a bit, and then spits it out and wipes her chin. And I lost it. And the only other person with a dirty mind like me was Feely, and we couldn't contain ourselves. So here's a tip for anyone improvising when you're brushing your teeth. Don't do the back and forth motion, cleaning the back of your teeth. A side to side is good enough. It gives the impression of what you're brushing. Yeah, you have to be careful about all these sort of actions.
Yeah, I guess that's why context is always very important.
Yeah.
All right, I think we have to come to an end of this actor background part. Did you already record for the audio plays?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm actually already finishing my recordings.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and did you had any problems or any difficulties there?
Well, for me, the difficulty is because I have very few lines, and I also have a personal habit of preparing for characters. I will write the character's life story, and because I found the lines are so few, so the empty part of the lines has, for some reason, brought me difficulties of imagine the person's background and her life story and so on. So this is a kind of problem.
But then you will be very well prepared for the section that will come later about your character.
But that's good. Like, this is actually definitely good. I think this is something that we're obviously learning and practicing. One of the reasons we practice the edit, the best way to record, and we've picked up new, and hopefully it works out. But yeah, so I think we've had like basic things. So last week, maybe I won't name them. Oh, maybe this will come up next podcast when we do a podcast with them. But basically, yeah, like not recording, and you do the whole scene and then someone hasn't recorded. Yeah, so that's obviously a tech problem. I've had people with cutting it, like someone in the background's like dog is barking, and it's kind of a bit tricky to kind of cut it out. From my perspective too, it's a tricky, I guess like a film, you're not always recording in order. And so with this, we're recording, like we're doing our rehearsal and then we're recording straight away. And so I think when you're doing like long haul rehearsal after rehearsal after rehearsal, even though it's kind of out of order, you get used to the scene and your character, and it kind of develops and brings up over time. With this, it's like you go in, you don't really know exactly what it is. And I think that, yeah, like even for me, there were certain things like we have a scene at the start where I'm in love with one character and at the end don't love this. And the difference with that, where one of the notes I got was like, oh, remember, like you loved her, and so you don't want to kill her. You don't hate her. You actually like, you feel sorry for her. And I was like, oh yeah, like that's it. And we hadn't done that first scene, so I didn't really have that love background. So that was very hard for me. And because we're doing we're doing rehearsal then recording, it doesn't give us a lot of that time. And so I think so your character arc is kind of interrupted, and so there are just parts missing from your own backstory. Yeah, and even though I know, like even though I've read and I understand and I've got a basic idea, as Yutong said, like the story and what's going on, because we haven't played with those emotions, and I haven't, and also like sometimes there's scenes where you haven't even worked with that person before. So I definitely think the first time that people play together, it's different. And then once you've done the lines a few times or you've done a few scenes together, you kind of get a better idea of their timing and the way they're going to say it. And so you can bounce off that a little bit more. It's definitely been different and tricky.
Yeah. Okay, next is a section that I always like best, and this is the improv part. And the improv game.
I'm very excited.
The improv game that we will do today is planning a heist. So before, in other podcast episodes, we already planned a murder, but this time you will not try to murder someone, but your goal is to steal the earrings of the queen.
Oh, good.
So I will count you in.
I'm gonna try and do a British accent.
All right, then.
I'm gonna try to use British accent.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So,
I need a hook. Hello. Oh, blimey. Okay, of course.
are you ready? Good. 3, 2, 1, go.
So, how you going, mate?
Not well. My mother is ill and is currently in hospital, you know.
Oh no, that's not the bee's knees, is it?
Oh no. And the problem is I really need a lot of money to, save my mother.
Well, I got some cash. I've been working under the table. I could maybe lend a hand. How much do you need? I could probably spare a couple of quid.
I think I need 3 billion. 3
3
billion
billion,
pounds.
3 billion. Well, that is well above my pay grade. 3 billion. Oh, you know what's interesting though? I read that Queen, God bless her heart, she, in a part of her crown jewels, has these earrings, and guess what?
What?
They go for 1.5 each earring.
That's exactly 3 billion.
I know. What do you reckon?
I would say, let's go for it.
So, okay. Look, I'm not in with the Queen. So what do you suggest? How do we get the old broad's ear danglers?
Well, I am a former maid of the Queen. I'm actually quite favored by the Queen, actually. So I would say I knew some people who currently work for the Queen, and maybe we could get some message from them. And then in the end, we will get the earrings. I got the 3 billion and you got my thankfulness.
Well, I feel like I want a bit more than thanks. I mean, what's in it for me? I mean, this is a big deal, ripping off the Queen like this. I mean, how are we going to do it? You've got some friends. What, they're going to just walk in while she's asleep and pick them off? I mean, are they behind bars? Are they in the town? Like, where are they being held? Do we know?
Yeah, some of our friends who is really special, and maybe you have heard of his name. His name is Harry Potter.
Oh, Harry! Well, I do know Harry Potter. That's interesting.
Okay. This was actually my own secret, but I have to spill it out today. Well, actually, I am a witch. That's why.
God, blimey! No, that ain't. What? Okay. Show me something. Do a magic trick. Come on, do a magic trick.
But because of some reason I'm cursed, so my magic power is blocked. But I still knew some, witches and other people like people in the Harry Potter world. So back to the topic, how we could get the crown. I will just ask one of my friends who has this kind of magic power and use some magic, just sneak around in the queen's residence and then bring that earrings out, and then we just wait.
Oh, I've got a good idea. How about we do it next week? Because she's got that big grand ball for one of her grandkids' weddings, and everybody's going to be watching and whatever else. I don't really care about any of that rubbish. But why don't we go there? We get your friend and they've got some probably magic cloak that makes you invisible. So we go in there. You get let in through your friends. They let us in through the back door, and while the party's going on, we can duck up behind and try and get into her bedroom, the Queen's boudoir, and pick up some earrings. What do you reckon?
I don't think the earrings were just in the Queen's bedroom. Probably it's just on her ears. Then how could we do that?
Well, they're in her ears. What is she planning to? Oh my. Okay. So what? Are we totally against chopping the Queen's ears off? Is that a problem?
No.
Okay.
I think let's just use them.
Spitballing here. I'm just spitballing, just an idea. I don't know.
When the earrings on the Queen's ear, let's just use magic to.
Well, I got another idea.
Yeah.
I mean, the queen is recently widowed. Maybe she's a bit lonely. Maybe I could turn on a bit of the charm and make my way over to her, eh?
Yeah, that's a pretty nice idea, and I bet you will do that. So, where do you plan to meet the queen?
Yeah, we'll go to this party, and I'll dress up all proper like, and we get in. I won't have an official invite, but we'll get in through your friends. And
yeah, of course.
And maybe you can bippity boppity boo me, or get your friends to bippity boppity boo me and give me some like Cinderella dress type situation and make me like a bit of a prince, and I can turn on the charm, right? How about that?
Yeah. Then you get to know the queen, and then what's the plan next?
Well, I shag the earrings off her, I guess.
No, okay. And when you get the earrings out, what would you need?
Well, I guess I take her up to the bedroom myself, and I do a bit of a kissing on the neck. I undo the earrings, and maybe you come in behind with your invisibility cloak, and you can just pick them up and then sneak off. Yeah?
Yeah. So I would say this is a brilliant idea, and you've already got the love or the attention of the queen, and you actually don't need something else. So that's a very nice deal. I get the earrings, I get the money for my mother, and you get the attention of the queen.
I mean, you know what? It's actually not bad. I did say she's an all right broad. Maybe I end up King of England. I do like this, actually. Yeah, this is a good idea. And maybe I'll put my sword in her stone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so let's settle the plan.
Okay.
Well, that sounds like a very good plan.
Yeah, it always inadvertently comes to the yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that your plan will be successful, and Yutong will be rich, or well, not rich, but her mother will be alive, and Seb, you will probably be rich and be a sir. Yeah, very successful, I'd say. Okay, so next up is an improv game, and we played this improv game before, and it was very, very much fun. And it's called Panel of Experts. So we did this with Leah and Lauren, and they were experts for astronomy, and they discovered a new object that was half a star and half a moon. No, half a sun and half a moon. And they found out that this is the perfect holiday and tax place.
Yeah,
so if you want to know more about it, just listen to our very first episode. If you're ready, then we will start. This time you will not be experts of astronomy, but of something different. I will tell you in a second. Hello and welcome to a new day in the cells. I have here two wonderful and extremely genius biologists here who actually have discovered a new cell type. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. We have newly discovered an extraordinary cell type which can be eaten by human and animals. Is that right, Seb?
Yeah, that's right. And the interesting part about when it's eaten, these actually give you superpowers for a short period of time. Isn't that right?
Yes, that's right. And not only it can give you a power about time, it can also give you a power about space. Like if you have eaten the cells before, then you can have one chance to shorten your geological distance of choosing space points. For example, when you are at home and you are already a little bit late for schools and you have already eaten the cells one day before, then you can choose to use this power at this time point, and then you said, shorten space, and give a special gesture, and then you will be in your school or your university in 1 minute. Is that right, Seb?
Yeah, that's right. The only downside to this is that you will age exponentially every time you do it. So the amount of time that you do is not, it would be equal to the time it would normally take you to get there. So it might instantaneously move you, but you would age the normal time. So for example, if you went to Australia, it would be there very quickly. However, you would be a day older. Isn't that right?
Yes, of course. This is also something that we are now doing research for. We are now researching to reduce the side effects of the function of eating the cells. So now we are trying to exclude the time difference of people who use the space shortened power when after eating the cell. But these cells can not only be eaten, it can also used for coating. It can be it can be made it can be used in, for example, the sugar production. So we do have the sugar for kids, right? And the sugar usually have a very colorful coating. We can also use these cells for doing the sugar coating for the kids. So to make the sugar more delicious and more attractive and bring more benefits for the production companies.
That sounds very interesting and like a cell that can do like almost everything. But where can I find these cells? Can I buy them in a supermarket, or how can I eat them? I mean, normally cells are pretty small.
Yeah, so at the moment they were being produced in a lab, and so the general public can't use them yet, but we are doing some tests at the moment to make it for the greater population, and we're hoping to get them into supermarkets by the end of the year. Isn't that right?
Yes, of course. And we're not only trying to get them into the supermarket at the end of the year, we are also trying to get into the water tube of every family house by the end of next year. So
everyone will just be injected by water with these cells.
Yes, that's right. I mean, technically we will be drugging the greater population. However, we feel that the effects will greatly enhance everyone's life because they won't have to worry about the travel time and things like that. So they can have less stress. So we think that the difference between the stress levels of, for example, your daily commute versus losing the time and aging slightly quicker outweighs itself. Isn't that right, you?
Yes, of course. Stress is one of main factors that is influencing our health nowadays. And we find that using the cells to reducing our stress is a really big point for helping us keep healthy. And it would be a great improvement of human civilization, of our science, technology, and so on. So yeah, we are trying to drug everybody by the end of next 2 years. And we will trying to get them into the supermarket by the end of year. And now we are contacting the main great manufacturers of this country to ask them if they need to put the cells into their products and discover more functions of the cells and more ways to put the cells in our daily products, such as toothpaste, toothbrush, and milk. Is that right, Seb?
Yeah, that's right. We also had some interesting offers from the clothing industry. So I know that a certain designer was wanting to use it on the catwalk to give the catwalk a bit of spice, and bringing in some new modern, futuristic, I guess, designs. And the applications there not only look great, but yeah, maybe we can get away with the fact of you can just put on a piece of clothing and that moves you to a certain space.
Yes, that's right. And not only can this clothing move you to a certain space, but it can also change its own color according to your own emotions. For example, when you're happy, and then your clothes will look red, and then when you're sad, it will look blue. So everybody outside you can understand how you are feeling when looking at the clothes you are wearing today. So they know in which way they can communicate with you. So they can communicate with you with proper way. For example, when you are sad and everybody else has seen it, then we'll talk to you in a more gentle way. And when you're happy, everybody knows that, then we'll talk to you in a more interesting and funny way so you can make the day more happier. So of course, that will be another wonderful way to reduce people's daily stress level and to improve your health level. Is that right, Seb?
Yes, that's right. Another interesting side effect that we've noticed with the colors is when two people of colors come together, both their colors will actually change. So, for example, we've got the happy person and they meet the sad person. What we'll notice is the people's color of their skin will change to a more purple color. And this, of course, is a permanent change. But we figured that this will help with racism as well, because then everyone's skin color will eventually end up the same.
That sounds very interesting, and I think there's a lot more to come.
Yes, thank you for having us today.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, thank you. And we are now trying to do more research in this area about the sales to help us win the Nobel Prize. And we will sure will get this for this year. Latest not, I think we will get it at least in the next 2 years. Thank you.
Yeah, I can't wait for it.
What are we talking about?
That's good. I thought that was good. I liked it.
Yeah, that was a very cool improv. Okay, we go on to our last section where Yutong is like perfectly prepared, and you will talk a little bit about your characters. We start with you, Seb, and your character. So just can tell your age, your profession, and your general physical appearance.
He is a young adult getting into the marrying years, I guess. So his profession is something to do with business. He doesn't really know what it is. He came into his father's work. And so, yeah, he's about, I guess, 25 or so years old. He's picked up a new client. And yeah, his appearance, I guess, is he looks smart. He wears business suits, very proper, but he's not exactly the most super intelligent. Like, he's not dumb, but he's not winning Nobel Prize. Yeah, he comes in, he does his work, but things can happen that he doesn't notice, like, which should be obvious.
Mm-hmm. And what about Stuart the steward?
So Stuart is a young girl, and she is about like 20, 21, like the same as my age, but she has been on the ship for very long. I guess she has been on the ship from like 13 and 14 years old, from the very invisible kitchen maid to a steward that can be on the ship and appear in front of the ladies and gentlemen, which are the guests of the ship, passengers, and to serve them. And I think she's dark-haired, like brown probably, and not tall, like middle-sized. And she's always wearing the steward dress as the request of the captain.
Do your characters have some hobbies, or maybe some secret hobbies, or some quirks that they don't want others to know about? Yutong, do you want to go first?
Yeah, my character Stuart, she actually likes to play cards. She's actually the secret card game winner among the maids and the stewards. So she learns this hobby because she has seen the ladies and gentlemen playing the cards every night. So she just secretly learned that. And she tried to play that with her colleagues and find out she has talent in it. But so far, she has not got any specific goals of how she can use this kind of talent to help her achieve other ambitions. So far, she's a girl without ambition.
Yeah, well, maybe she can find a rich husband with this card playing.
Yeah.
I heard that worked before. What about Simon?
Yeah, so Simon, I guess his quirk is he doesn't really know business. So what he does is, like, he reads the financial newspapers and he makes a big effort to show that he's reading them, but he doesn't really understand them. And so whenever he has like discussions with someone who knows what's going on, like business associates, he will use a lot of buzzwords, but he kind of uses them incorrectly. He'll come out with, that agrarian society, I don't know about the supply and demand there. The economies of scales are just way off, aren't they? Ho, ho, ho. What were they thinking? Investing in silver at a time like this. Yeah, but he doesn't really understand what he's talking about.
More big talking and
runs lines that he's heard people repeat. Kind of like someone who doesn't know, like, football. They go, "Oh, did you watch the game last night? I know. What was the ref thinking? I know. Who paid him off? I can't believe that he let that go. Oh, you're talking about that. Oh, I know. It was disgusting play." So he just kind of mumbles and jumbles and says, "Oh, yes, I was back in Morocco last year and I had the investment portfolio, blah, blah, blah."
Okay, what would you say makes your character happy?
Well, I will go first. Sleep will make my character happy. So because I try to design the Stuart girl as a girl without ambitions, although there are a lot of rich ladies and gentlemen she can like have contact with every day, but she has no interest in getting to the brilliant life that she had seen, and she loves sleep very much, and she doesn't care about the service quality of from herself to the ladies and gentlemen, and she can even be asleep when she serves the ladies and gentlemen, especially in late night. And that's what you're gonna hear in the audio cast, that how sleepy she is when serving the ladies and gentlemen. And her only hobby is playing the cards, so she's kind of like a person who doesn't have big ambitions and specific goals. All she wants every day is go back to sleep and play cards in her tiny dark rooms with her colleagues, because for her life is already too hard, and she had this life since 13 or 14.
Yeah, so I think Simon falls in. I think he falls in love quite quickly too. Yeah, he does, and then he falls hard, and yeah, he enjoys the company of spend. Doesn't need anything from him. Doesn't like away from work, just someone who can spend time. He's a dumb roommate.
What would you say is your lifetime goal?
Yeah, look, I honestly think that Simon wants to take over this company and provide for his wife, and then he wants kids. The American dream. 2.5 kids, white picket fence, can sit and have breakfast with the kids running around in the garden. I
think the steward currently, she has no imagination to her life ahead at all. So she might imagine that she will serve on the ship for so long, and when she's old enough, she'd get off the ship and find a tiny house to spend the rest of her life. But I think actually she will find out that her talent in playing cards will bring something new to her life, and she will gradually participating in probably professional card playing games and being the winner. And actually her characteristic of has no ambitions is actually another side of her characteristic of ability to focus. So she's really focused on the talent and the thing she likes, which is playing card games. So that is the characteristic that bring her to the final success as a professional player.
Okay. Is there anything that scares you?
Yeah, the murder.
I mean, look, I think one thing that scares him is he as I said, he's a romantic, and I think that he worries about losing that, but I think he also thinks that maybe he'll get another love anyway. So maybe there's an underlying fear of losing stability is maybe a better way of putting it. I think like the family unit for him is stable. The business is stable, and if everything is stable, then it's more when it's chaos. So there's a scene where things kind of get out of control, and I think that's where he kind of keeps it together, but after that it's a bit he's a bit of a wreck.
Thank you very much for being my guest here today. And as always, to end this episode, I want you to say the main character's name of our audio plays.
So, Hercule Poirot.
Oh my God! That's a really hard question for me. The full name, right?
You can also just say the last name. That's fine.
Poirot?
Wonderful.
That was good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it correct?
I think that there are very different correct ways.
I think everyone says it differently.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, it also depends if you want to say it in a correct French way or in an English French way. So yeah, that changes a lot. Then we say goodbye in French. So
au revoir, merci.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.